special event alert.
My cat's puking up blood, and I gotta take him to the vet, which is excuse number 23 for being late for Changeover, your weekly space news and variety show. I'm your host, Marty Smith, and I'm joined by Mr. History, Eric Perrott.
Howdy, fellas. Yeah, by the way, the cat died on the way to the vet.
Damn it. Now I've got to take the whole week. Now I got to take the whole week.
It's morning.
And our man in the closet, Jake Wall.
I'm filing for bereavement leave as we speak.
Oh, I don't know if you get that under this administration. You might get it under the previous administration. But.
Plus, you got to go back to the office, pal.
Yeah,
not in the closet anymore.
Yeah,
you got to go in the
files.
closet anymore. We're here to bring you the latest headlines and updates pertinent to all Guardians and to the other lower branches as well. So take your seats, get informed, and have a laugh as we present Late for Changeover. I got to work on the...
Oh, there you go.
I like it.
Well, good to see you all here. Anna let us down again, unfortunately. And Juan is still cutting hair. But I've got
Anna's doing field research in Boston, isn't she?
Well, actually, she's being a good grandmother or great-grandmother. What was it?
I was told she's grandmother.
Oh, she could pull off the great... Oh, she could easily pull off the great-grandmother. Yeah,
she wears pajamas when she comes on here. She probably puts those on at 5. So.
She does puzzles for funsies.
Now it's all coming into focus.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's all coming into focus. So,
hey, Anna, we love you. We miss you. Have a good day.
We do.
Yeah,
we miss that foul mouth of yours. So, get back soon, right? And good to see you guys, Steady Eddies, for a couple of years here. Yeah. Jake challenged me a few episodes ago to count up how many episodes we've done. Oof. I haven't done it yet, but I will. Yeah. I will.
It's a lot of work. Sounds like a lot.
You figured
a lot of work.
I bet it's 12 months, 12 shows for 3 years, something like that.
No, well, this is.
I forgot.
No, well,
no, it's every Tuesday night. Yeah,
50 some shows a year.
I can't count, brother. That's why I joined the Air Force.
Yeah. Well, that's why you went security force.
Yeah, exactly.
So all that criticism, we're like, how many shows we do again?
Fuck, I don't know.
These like 12 guard mounts a year. What are we doing?
How many weeks in a month? Yeah, shit. I don't know.
That's all right.
It's 52 weeks in a year.
That's why I got the J-Day, Eric.
50 at least, missing a couple.
So all right.
You can just count the J-Days as we do this now.
Yeah, that should be the excuse number. Excuse number 36.
36. No, because it's going to go to 360.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is we've done it a lot.
Yeah, we're coming on our third year doing this.
Third year.
You don't have to go in the same order. You just have to go 36. Just announce the J-Day.
I should screw the J-Day up to see if anybody's really paying attention. I'm like, you dummies, that's not the J-Day. And I'm like, oh, at least you're watching. At least you're turning it on.
You do take a lot of time to do all this random stuff.
It's my new hobby tinker. Put it this way, Jake, you know guys that have bikes that they can't wait to get the next head cover or, fender chrome piece. This is my chrome piece. So
I like it, bro.
I'm like, hey, $20 I'll add that on there.
Nice. So I get... Yeah, bedazzling their bike is more fun than actually riding it.
Oh yeah, people, and they'll come in and like, hey, I got new saddlebag mounts. Like,
yeah, shout out Glenn Richard.
There you go.
Rode 45 miles on his bike last year. Put in $4,000 in accessories. GLENRICHARD, Glenn Richard.
Nice. So the shiniest bike is the least used bike by Mr. Richard.
Yeah.
Jake, you got a Butch and Sunny update for us?
Oh man, they did their first spacewalk. You can see it on YouTube. Yeah, it was finally everybody on the inside was like, Just go earn your keep. Just go. Fine. We need some space, guys.
I see
You're
him
up here for a reason.
like
Yeah.
tugging on the back of their spacesuit. It was like, hey, can I go? Can I go? Like, hey, back of the
Jeez,
space station.
guys. Let the real astronauts do it, not the strandees.
We checked with Boeing. They gave you permission. Go ahead.
Yeah, right. And they're like,
Yeah.
hey, mission commander, the toilet on the outside just had a blowout. Somebody's got to
Hey,
go out
give
there
him-
and clean it. And they're like,
Give them the
but
tools.
Sonny,
Yeah,
there's your chance.
exactly. It's the tools that aren't important. Like, don't give them the good tools, guys. Come on.
Right. They're like, here's a sponge and a squeegee.
Tough mission.
Shitter
there.
was full.
But they are like 7 hours on YouTube of
Oh,
them.
wow. They
fixing
filmed
shit.
the whole thing. Really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Well,
good
horrible
for them.
camera angles, but still.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, good for them. At least they're getting out. They're getting a little, airing it out a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
Earn your keep.
Giving
You
the
know,
regulars their space.
Yeah, the other ones are like, how long should we be out there? I was like, I don't know. We got to test these tanks. Just go until you start getting low. We're gonna play some spades in here. all right?
Yeah, exactly. Finally. Lingerers. Jeez, give us some space.
Oh, those go. When are they supposed to come back? April. So we got a couple more months of this. So.
I know.
Jesus.
Butch and
Those
Sonny.
poor guys.
I feel terrible for them too,
I know.
man.
Well, well, they're getting TDY.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're
better.
probably on their. They're putting it on their GTC, which we'll talk about later.
This better be tax free.
Ooh, yeah, that's good.
It's got to be. Wouldn't it? You'd think it would have to be.
Well, after 4 months out of the country, you get tax free, right?
Well, I mean, Trump did away with tax for tips, so they'll just say it's a tip. You've been up there long
Oh, there
enough.
you
We
go.
tipped you.
Tipped
you.
you.
Can keep it off. You can keep it off.
Tipped you.
I wonder if they're filing interim travel vouchers or something.
Oh, that's good.
Can you imagine being in space and dealing with that bullshit?
Oh,
Yeah, the 60
No.
days in, they're like, oh, fuck, I gotta file this out or else my GTC will go
Yeah,
unpaid.
exactly.
Speaking of all that, let's jump into the news and talking about this new administration. Lots of changes coming already. 3
Good
weeks in and lots of changes. Lots are affecting. I think a lot of them are good. I think a lot of them are just like, yeah, we need to come back maybe a little bit, but I leave that for you to judge. So, but this first story is just for you, Eric. Just for you.
I like it.
So, from Air and Space Forces magazine comes this story. The Air Force conducts more deportation flights with armed security forces, Ravens on board.
There it is, baby.
Here we go. Look at
There it is.
the U.S. Air Force carried out deportation flights to Ecuador and Guatemala last week as the Pentagon continues to fly migrants out of the country at the direction of President Donald Trump. U.S. air crews participating in deportation missions have included armed Air Force security forces personnel known as Phoenix Ravens. Why do they have to add the Phoenix part on it?
Oh, yeah.
I don't have a good answer for that.
Nobody calls them Phoenix Ravens.
No,
They're
they
just
call them
Ravens,
Ravens.
right?
Yeah.
So what?
But you know what?
are-
Before you go
oh,
any further,
right.
it's interesting
Yeah.
that this is a federal thing going on, deportation, right?
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
You would think we'd be using some kind of an air marshal or
Yeah, a federal
Marshals?
agency.
yeah, versus
Sure.
versus the military, which
They
is
called the Ravens in. Look at these boys. You can tell them why they're tactical khaki pants there.
No, tactical khakis.
Now I wonder if are they cuffing them to the seats? I wonder because if they're all loose,
Mm.
right? You got
It-
Con Air right there, right? Those guys are
yeah.
they're charging you. They don't care anymore, right? That's got to be some hairy duty though, especially in that close quarters.
I think their hands are actually zip tied in front.
Like, oh yeah, okay. It's hard to tell from the picture, but you're right. All their hands are in their laps. So
Yep. I
um,
think it might be zip tied in front.
but they couldn't just like leave them unsecured.
No, I think especially when you're talking about potentially criminal freaking bad guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
For your own safety and stuff.
you know, and that's a
certainly-
lot of room to maneuver in there.
Oh yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
like they're tripping over other seats. I mean,
Yeah.
they're just getting up. So
That's
they got
definitely not a C-130.
No, I think that
Oh
might be
no,
it.
there's no web seats right there.
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly. Those C-130s, you were lacing knees.
Oh,
Yeah.
it sucked. And you sunk down in, and
Yeah.
your elbows are right here next to each other. You're like, fuck, this is a bad position for my back. Hope it doesn't come back to haunt me when I get out of the military.
Don't
I'm
worry, it's
pretty
only
sure
3 hours.
Yeah,
that's a
I guess
C-17, man. That's a good big
it's
plane.
got to be. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got to be. Let me see if I can get Jake. There we go. So, what are the Ravens, you might ask, for those uninitiated?
I was just going to ask that.
Good question,
Air Mobility Command's Phoenix Ravens program, implemented in 1997, consists of teams of specially trained security forces personnel dedicated to providing force protection for mobility Air Force aircraft. Teams of 2 to 6 specially trained and equipped security forces personnel deploy as aircrew members. The Raven teams are entrusted to detect, deter, and counter threats to mobility Air Force aircraft by performing close-in aircraft security and providing flight deck denial to onboard threats. The Phoenix Raven training course is conducted by the U.S. Air Force Expeditionary Center at Joint Base McGuire-Dix Lakehurst, New Jersey. The intensive 4-week, 12-hour-a-day course certifies Phoenix Ravens in cross-cultural awareness, international legal considerations, embassy ops, airfield survey techniques, EOD. Explosive ordnance awareness. So they're not disarming it. They're just like, there's one right there.
Back off. Call it in. Yeah.
It's got a clock on it. I can tell. Aircraft searches and unarmed self-defense techniques. Students are exposed to more than 70 use of force scenarios where stress is simulated by or using role players. Training includes instruction and realistic practical exercises in, listen to this stuff, anti-terrorism force protection, okay, weapon defensive principles, verbal judo. I don't know what verbal judo is.
That is simply de-escalating a situation by talking or escalating to the proper level of force.
Oh, no shit.
Or using old-timey English accent to de-escalate.
Please put your gun down.
Nobody can be mad at that.
What's your problem, governor? And he's like, hey, I like that accent.
I'll put my gun down
anymore.
Yep.
I'm so confused.
Okay, you can have the plane back.
Combatives, tactical combat, casualty care, counterintelligence awareness, and tactical baton employment.
The ASP. We used an ASP. ASP.
Oh. Is that the flexible one, or is that the?
No, it's a hard one, but it's a collapsible three pieces.
Oh,
the 3 pieces.
No,
yeah.
The click thing.
Yeah,
Click,
you
click.
got your
but
ass.
can you flick it out with the wrist? Like,
Not like that,
locks?
Marty.
Extend
Marty's
it.
like flicking
Well, I'm simulating being the English accented guy going,
Yeah.
you got a problem, governor?
What are you, the conductor of an orchestra?
Yeah, that's
So-
my walking stick.
So think about this, fellas. Back in my day, before
Right.
it became known as the Ravens, Mac,
We only had broom handles.
before it became AMC, Mac did
Yeah.
it using 4 days of training. Well, at least we did it in Charleston. 4 days of training. Our training section put together a program that instilled weapons retention, the verbal judo stuff, ins and outs of the aircraft, where a potential bad guy could get in, where they could be storing themselves.
Yeah.
Because most of the time when it left the continental US, there was just 2 of us on a ride.
Ooh, jeez.
Yeah. So
That's
one
a little
up,
hairy,
one
right?
down. Some of
the
the places we went to, you went, what the fuck are we going to do other than sound the alarm? That's about it.
Caca, guys. Caca.
Yeah.
Hey, crew chief. And he's like, not me, baby.
Nope. Crew
Can we
rest.
gas it?
Crew's gone to crew rest. We're just hanging.
The first Ravens graduated in February 97. So did they call you Ravens back then?
No. The
but-
name came later.
But you're essentially were the cornerstone of what they're doing now, right?
Absolutely. Matt started it.
Since 1997, only 3,200 Air Force security forces have graduated from the Phoenix Raven qualification course. It seems like there should have been more, but Graduates from the course also include members of the Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, Federal Air Marshal Service. Upon graduation, Air Force Ravens are issued a lifetime numeric identifier for their accomplishment.
I did not know that. That's
Yeah.
You
cool.
got a tracker in your butt cheek?
I don't know. I get it tattooed.
You get a
Oh, is that
tab.
it? Your number. What number is he? This is, yeah.
This is very
Congrats.
prestigious.
You do get a Raven tab to wear.
They were handing those out in Germany a while back too, you know.
Okay.
I got one over here.
What's here?
The Phoenix Raven program was called upon during Operation Allies Refuge, the massive U.S. military effort to evacuate more than 124,000 people out of Kabul, Afghanistan, during the last days of the United States' longest war there. More than 150 Phoenix Ravens and flyaway security members were rapidly positioned to secure every Mobility Air Force aircraft supporting OAR after more than 800 Afghan civilians swarmed an AMC C-17 aircraft in Kabul.
Dropping out of the wings. Boop.
Could you? That had to be hairy. You're like, you want us to do what? These guys are, they're flying away on the outside of the aircraft with these guys. They're serious.
Falling off the planes, man.
Yeah. So
that was crazy.
That's pretty cool. And that's pretty cool, Eric, for that little foray into what you did. I mean, it's the close spaces has got to be. I mean, that's got to be some unique stuff, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's funny too because depending on where you were going and the threat, you'd always get a threat from OSI prior to going.
Right.
So you always had an aircraft commander telling you what he wanted and what he didn't want at the location based upon the threat. So a lot of times we carried handguns. Other times we carried handguns and long rifles. So maybe a shotgun at times, just really depending on where you went and what the mission was and how long you were going to be on the ground. It was interesting.
You know, you carrying a pistol does remind me of last week because one of the funniest scenes was you're like, I just shot him in the back with my 38.
That's exactly
that old Sergeant Perrott is still there, man.
Yeah, he invaded.
Just waste independence.
Don't worry, sir. I put him down there like, what are you doing, Raven?
He was an unauthorized suspect. So I popped him.
Because he ran by me while I was on the phone. Sorry, sir.
Yeah. I got my ascot dirty and all. Please.
Sweaty.
So
sweaty.
So I thought that was fascinating. You don't hear anything about those guys. You know, that's a pretty cool niche duty assignment, man.
Well,
how long did you do that for, Eric?
Well, the entire time I was at Charleston from 80, when did I get there? 83 through 87. So we started sending missions overseas probably 85. So for 2 years, I went to Africa, a number of places, the Sudan, Liberia, Dakar. I went to Afghanistan twice.
No kidding.
Pakistan, and this was before the war, of course.
Was this still during while the Soviets were occupying Afghanistan?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we were just on the ramp, not long. We didn't stay there long.
Yeah.
So,
I wonder if you go through that course, is that what you do for the rest of your time now?
No, it's still really heavily dependent on where you're stationed. If you were to depart and get an assignment out of AMC, you're not going to be flying aircraft missions anymore. So
I got you. I got you. Wow.
But it certainly becomes part of your training record. You go somewhere else after that. We can bring you back in.
Oh,
so,
I see. I see. Yeah. It's not like, oh, you're numbered, so that's all you do from now on.
No. You're still a cop first. You get to do it all.
Yeah. Hey, Raven, we need somebody out at the gate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. More changes, and you probably ran into them, all the complaints, right? Especially if you go to Airman NCO, Senior NCO Facebook page. You see all the complaints about all the changes. Well, here's one of the bigger ones. So from Air and Space Forces magazine, Here are the new Air Force dress and grooming standards. God, it seems like we talk about this like every other month.
Every
Yeah.
week it seems
But
like we address
now they've made it official. So they put it out. So airmen will be subjected to new uniform grooming and appearance standards starting Saturday, February 1st.
Oh,
Among the changes, this is the one that everybody has a big fan, and I actually agree with it. I think it's kind of a BS thing. But among the changes, duty identifier patches are no longer authorized.
it. Ooh.
That kind of sucks, actually.
Eh.
Hair cannot touch a male airman's ears. I don't know when that was ever allowed.
When was that a problem?
I don't
too?
know.
So,
Airmen must shave every day if they do not have a medical or religious waiver.
bam! I like it.
oh, look at
Damn.
that. A lot of Viking conversion therapy going to happen.
Female airmen must comply with tighter restrictions on nail polish. Remember when we did that show? Was it last year when it had all the different colors?
Yeah.
Yes.
Graphic, remember? Airmen with a shaving waiver will have to be reevaluated within 90 days of their next periodic health assessment starting March 1st.
Oh, wow.
The updated appearance standards are outlined in a memorandum from Chief of Staff General David Alvin. The new guidelines come about 3 weeks after Alvin announced a review of dress and appearance standards and said the Air Force would begin to more strictly enforce regulations. We first heard that with Strategic Air Command, right? When that general was like, start doing inspections.
Yeah.
So now I think
Strategic Air
the
Command.
wave is going.
It was ACC.
ACC. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So let's go over a couple of these. Duty identifiers. Alvin released a video explaining why he was getting rid of duty identifier patches, which have become commonplace on the sleeves of many uniforms or many airmen's uniforms. But they are no longer authorized as of February 1st. Now, I'll leave it up to you to decide what you think of General Alvin, Air Force Chief of Staff's explanation. So here it goes.
Recently, I spoke to you about some changes in policy and standards that we're making to make us a more effective warfighting force. I also mentioned that when we do these things, I want to give you the why behind what we're doing so we can be out there with the facts as they sometimes compete with the rumors. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the duty identifier tabs. These are elements of our force for which we should be proud. The accomplishments we've made, the
Stepping up
certificates
their
we've
game.
achieved that identify our individual specialty, that contribute to the entire team. Over the years, we've continued to increase the number of approved tabs to where now we have over 134 approved tabs. This is a lot of tabs.
That's the graveyard of
And
tabs.
it's under the rule, the principle that we have of easy to understand, easy to comply with, and easy to enforce. This fails that test.
I don't
But
think
there's a bigger
so.
issue at
I don't either.
As we identify ourselves as one type of
we-
airman or another, with
Oh,
one
here we go.
specialty
Yeah.
or one skill
See,
set,
you know where this is
or
going,
another,
right?
we really diminish ourselves. While that is a contribution that we make, our real value is our integral part of a winning warfighting team. And that's what we want to emphasize. We want to emphasize that we value the team over the individual. We value the mission over the function. And we do this to ensure that we are lethal and ready to fly, fight, and win. Air power, anytime, anywhere.
Okay.
My first question is, why is the Airman's Creed gone? Are they not?
No, I
because they're
don't
not
think they're
enforcing
really
that at all,
doing it.
right?
Yeah, no, not anymore.
Otherwise, he would have finished that whole thing off with the Airman's
Yeah.
Creed.
So let me ask you this too. When we
Yeah.
first identified these tab identifiers, there was good reasoning for doing it then.
Yeah.
All of a
Right.
sudden now it's all bad and it's not about the individual,
Well,
it's about team.
But think about it. When you're in your BDUs,
Yeah.
you had your bottom pocket badges that would identify your wing and what you did, kind of thing. Well,
More
maybe not
command.
specifically what you did, but at least your command, right? Yeah, and those were all different.
Well,
They
we
were
had
pain
the
in ass.
function badges too. Each
Yeah,
organization.
right.
Yeah.
And those patches only came up obviously with the ABU and then whatever the new uniform, the uniform they're wearing is called now, OCP or whatever it is. But I only remember it started with like you always knew security forces had those badges.
Yeah.
But they have, like they have dirt, they have like
Yeah.
comms, and I was like, why are you guys wearing identifier patches? I mean, I don't know if you need them.
It made it easier at like
it did
at
sure.
an exercise.
Yeah,
like
sure.
If you knew who you were looking for.
Good point. Yeah,
it was
that's
nice.
a good point.
When they
right.
got out of hand, it was when it was like call signs.
Yeah,
I was like, okay,
that's dumb.
The call sign on it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
The
that's
duty
ridiculous.
identifier, I can understand.
Right.
Because you could have your space wings, but you'd specialize in a specific area.
Sure.
Right.
Right.
If you had your cop badge, but you never could identify what your specific expertise was. And that's all that kind of helped with.
I don't think, that OCP has, I mean, the old BDUs, you had it sewn, right?
I don't think they have it anymore.
I don't think they have it anymore. So that's why I think they started wearing it on their arm, right?
Well, remember too, we also had just the Velcro patch, name, rank, Air Force,
depending on
the
what
shield.
uniform. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So for a
right.
long time in BDUs, that's all we had was just the name tag.
Yeah, the Velcro.
And it was all about being able to sanitize your uniform.
Yeah.
Throw that away, and now I'm freaking clean.
Well, it's funny because he does that bit about well, we're all one team. We're not individuals. That was just smaller teams within one team.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Right.
If you want to go that for the uniform, it's like, okay, take that duty identifier badge off, but you can wear the trucker's hat, you can wear the black cap, you can wear the boonie cap, you can wear a stocky cap, you can wear, it's just like, come on. Man.
Well, there was something to having, unit camaraderie too. We're all, here's my badge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
they had, Jake will remember this when we were wearing flight suits when we were 1 Charlie 6, which is the best fucking uniform hands down, right? And we had the cloth patches that were Velcro, but you had the cloth patch and your name and your rank and whatever skill level you were. But there was a period of time, which I thought was a great idea. They gave you, because in the early days of Sibbers, people were making errors all the time. So they started, remember the error-free pins?
Yeah, the error-free patch was
which
the
sounds
pin.
dumb, but there was
the
it was
1,000-hour pin.
Such a complex system. And if you read something wrong or if you included some scans that you shouldn't have, that kind of thing, you would get an error. So if you made it 1,000 hours of crew time, right? 8 hours shifts, 1,000, 12-hour shifts, whatever it is, you got a pin that you could put on your name tag. And that was a big source of pride. And they had 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 hour pins. So you would try a little harder. And that went for evals and training scenarios too. So you would try to be on your game because you're like, I got the pin. I don't want to lose it.
Yeah.
Right. Or I want to get it. And then some dick goes, hey, I looked at the uniform reg and that's not authorized.
Yep.
And then the command made us take them all off. And it was like, morale is like, it wasn't crushed or anything, but it was just like, that was unnecessary. Why not just let us
kind of a cool
pin?
incentive.
It was.
Yeah. And if they thought about it, they would have given you 1,000-hour patch or rocker.
That would have been great. That would have been better.
On your crew patch or whatever.
So it's the same thing you're talking about. It's a morale thing. I am part of Big Air Force, but I also like my team. I like the guys.
Yeah.
I want to represent, especially when you get into downrange, and you're out getting your 3 beers or whatever. You're like, hey, dirt guy, or hey, security force.
Yeah,
guy,
exactly.
That's pretty cool. But
I also got to ask what a 4-star knows about lethality and weapon and freaking fighting and okay.
Yeah. I think that excuse is kind of bullshit. They might have been getting out of hand, but if they have all gotten approved and they're all the same color and font and all that,
it's not like they're wearing morale patches that are just,
it's not
over
crazy.
the top.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all still standard.
Yeah.
Anyway, the rest of this is shaving waivers. The new thing on shaving waivers, basically they're just cracking it down, right? They're saying, hey, you got to have really that pseudofolliculitis barbae, PFB.
Ooh, well said. You did it.
Yeah, I
I
did
can
it.
never
Yeah, that was
pronounce
impressive.
that
I
crap,
practiced
man.
a couple times on it because I always stumble over that thing. So what they're saying is they want medical professionals to say, is this really PFB or is it just some irritation?
Yeah.
And if it's irritation, we can treat it with some other stuff. So you can still get a waiver, but after 90 days, it's going to be reviewed. So don't expect this lifelong waiver thing.
Yeah.
So one quick question. Are the other services, Marines, Army, are their uniforms going to be, I know we're just talking Air Force specific here, but I would venture to say with the new secretaries for each of the branches,
Yeah.
somebody's going to be stepping in. So my point to you would be, I don't know, you probably couldn't do anything. I know how important it is for an Army guy to get a CIB if he's in combat. And where's that?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's sewn on.
CIB, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They better not screw with that. They already tried that way back when they screwed with the berets. When they tried to make all of them wear berets.
Wouldn't that be something, though? I mean, if you why do you need to show a CIB on your chest?
They got to be smarter than that, right?
I hope so.
This almost sounds like maybe the Air Force, the little brother of the service, is trying to go, look what we did, sir.
Yeah, we're cleaning it all up.
We're taking it one step further. Look at us.
Yeah. I hope they don't impact some of the good stuff.
I hope Hegseth comes down there and goes, that was dumb. Make him put him back on. That was dumb. Right?
I like it.
And nail polish. The new policy for nail polish restricts female airmen. This is where I wish Anna was here. To clear or French and American manicure. I don't know what American manicure is.
Yeah, neither.
I think the French manicure is like the ends
The
are
white tip.
White.
Yeah.
But I don't know what American manicure is. Unless it's like the big, like Cardi B nail.
It's got a point. So like a claw.
Yeah, it's a talon. You can hear them clicking on the floor if they're crawling after you. So the move seemingly slashes dozens of colors that were approved last year. I can live with that.
Me
I can
too.
live with that. So
let's not be stupid.
Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force David A. Flosey issued a statement touting all new rules as necessary for readiness. He said, our unmatched war-winning capability is built on the strength and readiness of our airmen. Clear and enforceable standards are the bedrock for our ready and lethal flying force. Our airmen live a life of service. We are in the profession of arms. We are committed to defending our nation, deterring our foes, and this is the part that's weird, and if necessary, we will defeat them. Like, I think it's necessary all the time.
Are we not going to defeat them?
If
Well,
it's
only if it's
necessary.
It's only if it's
Jeez, Eric, only if it's necessary.
necessary.
Don't make it necessary.
I thought that was a weird part to add onto the end. It's like,
I am only going to clean my weapon today if it's necessary.
If it's necessary.
but that's only if it's necessary to defeat your enemies.
Yeah.
So. All right. This is I really want to get your opinion on this and how it hits you. This next story. So, this next is from because when I first read it, I'm like, ooh, that's big trouble. But then when I read Hegseth's comment, I was like, yeah, I agree with that. So, this is from Stripes.com. And this is a weird headline, but identity months are dead at DOD as the Pentagon bans military tributes to minority heritage. So at first it's like, ooh, this sounds pretty bad, but all official monthly celebrations related to race and identity in the Defense Department are banned effective when? Immediately. Under an order issued late last Friday saying such initiatives divide the force. Right? The decision comes at the start of Black History Month. Oops. Sorry about that.
Hey, wait. Such initiatives divide the force. That was basically the exact same argument that the last guy had. Those patches divide the force.
Oh, yeah,
the patches, they divide the force.
Good point. So this is all in line.
Yeah.
Right?
So what we're doing is making a robot. Just you look like this.
But that's what basic training does.
Yeah.
That's what basic training is supposed to do. So that's why I'm interested to see what your reactions are to it. The decision comes at the start of Black History Month. That, somebody on Friday was like, "Get that memo out. It starts tomorrow."
It's quick.
And there's people in the hallway with their decorations like, "Are we putting these up?" And they're like,
No,
Oh,
no.
The guidance was issued under the title, quote, "Identity Months Dead at DOD," end quote. That's the title of the memo.
Wow.
Our unity and purpose are instrumental to meeting the department's warfighting mission. Efforts to divide the force, which I don't think it was dividing, but I guess you could see it is singling out, right?
For sure.
Efforts to divide the force to put one group ahead of another erode camaraderie and threaten mission execution, the Pentagon statement said. The directive applies to all components and departments in the military which are prohibited from using official resources, including man hours, to host celebrations or events related to Cultural Awareness Month. So all they're saying is that officially they're not going to sponsor it. If you want to go do it off on your own, you can be my guest.
Walk
But we're not-
downtown,
Yeah.
be part of Black
But
Heritage.
it's not going to
but
be
the
a
problem-
base official activity. So
Yeah, I always did enjoy those at Vandenberg because they would always have like potlucks. You know?
yeah, and you could get like Pacific Heritage. Month or what?
The Pacific
man.
Islander month.
Are you
Hell
kidding?
yeah, dude!
That's
I'd sign up for
awesome.
that thing all
Just
the
like,
time at Vandenberg.
Can I just take an armful of lumpia with
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, lumpia. And at Vandenberg, they had a hog problem. So that
Yeah.
Oh no
So,
way!
the two guys on Fish and Game, one big guy was a Samoan on Fish and Game. He was married to somebody on base, and then
Dug
the
pit.
tall, skinny white guy was married to a Filipina.
Oh,
And so they both ran Fish and Game at Vandenberg.
nice.
So they'd always have a pig roast.
Yeah, those are so good, and they last forever. They're
Oh, it's
forever.
fantastic.
It takes forever to roast it, like
Yeah.
overnight, like 24 hours. But then you feel like such a man. You're just like,
Yeah. That was
Sawing
a
off.
good potluck to be at. This is disappointing. This
That's
initiative is
they
disappointing
could
because of this.
they can still do it, just not officially sanctioned. So, okay. So here's the capper. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has taken aim at various diversity efforts since taking over leadership of the Pentagon, following the lead of President Donald Trump. In an interview last Wednesday with Fox, Hegseth said, quote, "One of the dumbest phrases in military history is, 'Our diversity is our strength.' He said, 'Our diversity is not our strength. Our unity and our shared purpose is our strength.'"
I like that. I agree
That's
with
pretty
that
good,
too.
actually. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I like that.
Yes, be diverse, but all come under a common cause. right?
Yeah, be diverse just because of where we come from, all
Sure.
over the place.
But united together, diverse,
Under one purpose.
diversely, under one purpose is the way to go for it. I like
yeah.
it. While the ban prohibits official events, service members and civilians remain permitted to attend these events in an unofficial capacity outside of duty hours. So it's not like that doesn't happen.
So they
Right.
can't have lunchtime potlucks.
Yeah, you can't leave early. Yeah, you can't
Picnics.
go decorate. So
Damn it.
other heritage months previously recognized by the military highlighted achievements by women, Asian American and Pacific Islanders, Hispanics, and Native Americans. I never got a buffet at a Native American one,
didn't
I
either.
must say. So
I'm not even sure I
Um,
remember one of those. Do you remember when did that
I-
occur?
I remember emails going out for it. Hey, there's going to be a speech or a presentation or something like that.
Oh,
I never
yeah.
went to one. I never went to one, but I saw them. So,
Hmm.
So I don't know. When I first read it, I was like, "Ugh, this seems like it's going too far." But then when I read Hegseth's stuff, and I was like, actually, that makes sense. That makes sense. The military should be one collective body, and not celebrating bald guys, or something like that. So,
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I just hope that this,
where's your
Isn't
bald
now, like-
identifier patch?
yeah. Well, it says so on my line badge. It's PLD.
And the guy every day goes, "Yeah, no shit. I can see that."
Mhm. Let me check.
Oh,
Yep,
my.
still bald.
Still bald. Yep.
Instead of rolling down your window, he's like, "Take your hat off, sir."
Ding.
Oh yeah, you're
He's good.
still shiny.
I just hope this isn't the way ahead where like every time an administration comes in, they're just going to be like,
Change it back.
dismantle
Oh.
it all.
I imagine
Right,
the
like-
whiplash of if the administration flips Democratic.
Yeah.
They're like,
Oof.
And
"We're celebrating everybody but you
Change
guys."
it
dude, the
back.
military is going to have to be like every 4 years, just full. They're going to spend the
Oh.
whole first year resetting everything.
Yeah.
Really, if you
Yeah.
think
How
about
much
it,
money are they going to waste doing this?
Sure,
stuff?
the
They've been
military's
doing it now.
the military's
Yeah.
always been like this experimental ground for a lot of
Yeah,
reasons.
that's true.
You know, they integrate women and men, and they say to that, look, we're all doing the same job, and everybody goes, yeah, but we got different PT standards. So, you know,
Yeah.
You're not
maybe
quite
we're
the
not
same.
we're not
Yeah,
quite the
but-
same, but
Yeah,
they
but-
tout that all the time, and they have, first black unit, first this, first that, and it's like.
Yep.
When are we ever going to get to a point where we just can celebrate each other? I mean, it's just like we don't have
Well,
to
and
do
it's
the
funny.
designators all the time.
You said it earlier. When you really feel that strictly united is when you all have no jobs and you're in basic training, becoming
Yeah.
somebody.
Right.
Right then, you're all the same. You're just a
Or
bunch of
you're-
freaking losers.
You're stuck out on the flight line at
Right.
midnight, and I don't care if you have a master's degree, you're sitting there getting rained on just like me, buddy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
that's right.
let's bond that way. You know what
Yep.
I mean?
So,
That's where you see the more misery you got. Doesn't matter if you came out of ROTC, Texas A&M, West
misery
Point, you're
is
all
misery.
getting snowed on at the same time, right? All of your meals are late together. Doesn't matter where you came
One box
Yep.
nasty is as good as the other box
from.
nasty.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sweating my nuts off on this roof trying to shoot that F-16 Colonel.
There you go.
That was such a funny comment last week where you're like, you ever touch anything metal in the desert? And you're like, yeah, no shit.
Fuck that.
Oh, shit.
You're just going to catch on fire.
Yes, sir.
All right, one more fun one, right? So this one is from Task and Purpose. All right. So you ever see something coming and you're like, this is a bad initiative? Everybody knew when the GTC was coming out, it's like, that's trouble. That's trouble. So
Mhm.
now when you see the results, you're like, yeah, I knew it. I knew that was going to happen. Right. So it's from Task and Purpose. Troops use government cards to pay for casinos, online gaming, and Super Bowl parties, among other
Perfect.
things.
Perfect.
An Inspector General report found that military service members charged at least $500,000 on gambling, drinking, and nightclubs in 2023 on their government travel card. $500,000.
That doesn't surprise me a bit.
So,
How? Like, that was the first thing we all got briefed when we got our travel cards.
Yeah, yeah.
Do not use this
Yeah.
at a strip club. Do not use this for
Right.
beer.
And those first few years were so strict. It was like,
Oh, man.
where's the receipt for that gas? And I'm like, I don't know. I tossed it, and I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Fill out
this
this
is authorized.
lost receipt form.
Lost receipt form, right? So
That was
for
just
those
a bad
who-
idea from the get-go.
It was, right? So for those that were not military, generally military members are required to pay for all on-duty travel expenses. Basically, if you're official away from home, you use your government travel card, which is a Visa credit card, essentially.
Yeah.
So, and everyone gets issued one, which is stupid. But I mean, so you got this thing. You're 19 years old, and you're like,
Oh, dude.
And you live below the poverty level.
Look at the
Dude, I
temptation
of
I was so terrified of that thing. I immediately put it in a file folder.
Oh, I did too. I
was like,
never took that thing
"Mm-mm."
out. Yeah, I never took that thing out. So,
Well, for the
And then-
cops, they put them in their mobility section. They took it all to the mobility
That's
section.
exactly-
Oh,
yeah.
so
The
you didn't
security
even have it.
managers-
Yeah,
no.
you didn't even have
You
it.
put them in your
That's a
folders.
smart move.
That's where they
Yeah.
went.
Oh
Now,
man, that's a good move.
Before that GTC card came out, Eric, you'll remember this, when you could get a travel advance.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Did
Oh,
you were in? You got travel advances, right?
Yep.
Yep. My first.
And so you had to beg
good.
for that travel advance, and you knew if you the first time when you blow it, you're like, oh shit, now I'm into my own money, so maybe I should be more careful this time. But
Yeah.
then the GTC came out, and you're like, oh my god, look at this! Until you realize that compensation doesn't come back all that fast or all that
No.
timely.
No.
And
and then you're
you-
delinquent.
Yes.
You're delinquent.
I wish I had that meme you sent, Jake, because
Yeah, that's a good one.
it did it perfect. It was like the government issues a credit card, you're responsible for it, and if you don't pay it, if they don't pay you to pay it, then it goes on your credit report. And you're
Yeah.
like, why is that? That's it shouldn't even
Yeah.
touch my credit report.
Yeah.
So,
And yet, dude, some of those payouts would take so long.
if you screwed some paperwork up,
Oh,
you knew you were going over 60 delinquent.
yeah.
You knew that. Okay, so the report, which was the audit of the DoD government travel card program, the Visa Intel Link Compliance Management System, or VICM, the investigation, and this is too bad Anna's not here because she knows GSA, GTC, and all that stuff too. The investigation found holes in the watchdog program, which allowed fraud and unauthorized spending to slip past officials.
Ooh,
Many were minor, like paying for online gaming apps or drinks on holidays or during the Super Bowl, while others kept up fraudulent charges for months. Who would have guessed? Let me tell you let me give you this example that they gave for this one Air Force card holder. Investigators found managed to use his card for a 5-month gambling spree that went undetected by their base finance officer or their commander. So this guy, I'm going to say it calls them they, but it's got to be a guy. There's no woman doing this, right? So I'm going to call him a guy. On April 2023, the Air Force card holder took out $200 at a casino ATM at MGM National Harbor in Maryland. Later the same day, he took out another $200, which was the first of more than 20 withdrawals at the casino. Right? So now here's how he got away with it. Transactions on ATMs are generally flagged by that system VICM that I just said. But the airmen in Maryland began withdrawing in early 2023. At that time, the company behind the National Harbor ATM had just changed its name from Global Cash Access to Every. And the VICM system didn't update the name change.
No, it didn't flag him.
So 4 days after this kid went on his first casino visit, he went back and he tried to withdraw $300 in cash and then just $200 against the travel card, but both requests were declined. He wasn't deterred. He went back Saturday.
Keep back.
Oh, good.
Keep going, buddy.
Right?
Keep going back.
And on April 29th, the airman charged the card for $400 in cash. The next week, he took $500 out. And then the following Monday, he was back for another $500.
He's got a gambling
He's
problem,
a terrible
man. He
gambler.
sucks
Big
at
time.
gambling.
Yeah,
He's
a terrible
terrible.
gambler.
Oh,
He's a
man.
great GTC shammer, but he's a terrible gambler.
Marty, think back 2 years ago when we talked about a certain crazy defense contractor using his government card
Yeah.
That's right.
for the prostitute.
Yeah, the prostitute.
Oh, that didn't flag. That didn't
No.
flag up.
And he
Good
was
pull, Eric. Yeah, that was awesome.
entertaining her all over the place, man.
On
Woo.
his GTC.
Yes.
We had somebody use them fraudulently, but they would pay it off before the bill cycle.
Oh, yeah.
So,
And you can still
Like-
do that. Yeah, you can still do that.
and then, but that's,
But I
Yeah.
think they review it and they're like, yeah, you're at zero balance, but these transactions are
Yeah,
like,
but-
what
but-
are you doing with this?
when the commander prints out that report, that at the end of the month, they're
Yeah.
all looking at just the balance. They're not looking
right.
at all the individual
No
transactions
need to go
because it's
investigate.
like,
Right.
because on the commander slides, you're like, hey, where are you at on this travel voucher?
Sure.
I'm like, oh, it's on this is in this person's office.
Because
they're signing it. I called yesterday,
that's the old Pimmer stats, wasn't it? The
Yeah.
Pimmer stats. So if you pop red on that,
Yeah. Ooh,
all right, they're going to chase you down forever. But if you never show up on it, I guess
that's
you're
the
good.
thing.
Yeah.
The zero, if it said zeros,
Yeah.
they were using their card consistently throughout the month
But
and then would pay it off immediately towards the end of the month.
Now let me ask, if it would hurt your credit if you didn't.
If you
Did
didn't
it
pay.
did it help your credit using it all the time
No.
and paying it off?
Ah,
Did your
I-
credit
oh,
score go up?
I don't know. That's a
it
good
should
question.
have like a normal credit card.
You would
right?
have thought. We'll
If
take
you're
the
keeping
bad,
current. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Take
That's
the
a good
bad, you
point.
get the good.
Good point.
I bet some people were
Um,
trying to raise their credit scores using
Yeah.
it.
I bet very few were trying to raise their credit
Yeah,
scores.
exactly. With hookers, is that how you raise your credit score? He consistently pays hookers every third Thursday.
And he pays the card off. It's good.
Nah,
Boom.
he's steady. He
Yeah.
shows good credit history.
Hotel rental, hooker rental, payoff. Boom.
Hell, give him another card for Christ's sakes. Let's give him a higher limit.
Let's raise his limit
Yeah, raise that limit up.
up to orgy limit. You're up to
Woo!
orgy
Ew.
status.
Oh, okay.
Look at
Look
that.
at me, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, guys. You're praised in the next commander's call. And I'd
Oh
like to
my
give a
God.
shout out to Marty. He's now officially orgy status on the GTC.
You can do it too, Aaron. I'll show you
Good
how.
job. Good job.
Well done. Well done.
A few days later, this Air Force guy made $1,500 in cash charges at the casino, and then
Wow.
another 1,000 over the next week to close out the month of May. In June, the airman, now he's emboldened, right? In June, the airman charged $2,267 against the card. In July, they charged $3,700. In August, he charged $1,900 when IG investigators spotted
did
the
he make
account
it
and
that
alerted
long?
I don't know, alerted the airman's finance officials and commanders, including ATM fees. The airman charged $10,633
Holy cow.
at National Harbor. He didn't even go to several places. He went to the same place.
Holy cow.
He wasn't hiding it.
No. The airman, the IG report said, was given an Article 15 and just called it good, I guess. I don't know. But listen to these facts. that
No,
they
he
got.
didn't have to
Remember,
pay any of that. He didn't get
I'm sure he did. Yeah, I'm sure he did.
his
They
paid
probably
sanctions.
garnished his paycheck.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
garnished.
Hell yes.
Military members hold about 2.3 million travel cards and spend about 6.4 billion
Oof.
in 24 million transactions in the 2023 fiscal year, the vast majority of which were authorized. Still, the IG found 11,000 charges totaling roughly $500,000 slip past monitors, ranging from buying drinks to online gaming to cash withdrawals. The IG also highlighted 7,000 high-risk merchants like casinos, nightclubs, and online app stores that had not been spotted. Though bars and casinos fit the traditional mold of off-limit spending for government credit cards, the largest single merchant with unauthorized charges the IG found was Google.
Casino. Oh,
Google.
Google.
From 2020
Wow.
to 2024, the IG found troops spent nearly $150,000 on Google Play apps using their GTC.
Is that
Google
like music?
Play.
Is that
That's
music?
games.
Oh, gaming.
Games and stuff.
Wow.
It's a lonely dorm. It's a
Wow.
That
lonely
is
dorm.
crazy. Why
Yeah.
would you load your GTC onto that?
With Google
No.
Play apps.
That's just nuts.
That should have been flagged right off the bat. Like what
Yeah.
required purchase would you have on the GTC card and a
Right.
Google Play account?
right.
I
And they
cannot.
But you know how the daily duty goes, right? And they're like, I'm not going to sit down with these 100 people in my squadron and look through every one of their charge accounts. Is he delinquent? Nope. Pass. Go. Whatever you want. You can just go.
We're not out of any money. We're good.
Are they,
Now-
are they not doing that anymore then?
I don't know. I doubt it. You know how busy things get. You know, who's going to sit
maybe.
down there and go through their GTCs?
I mean,
Yeah.
we had that report in commander staff meeting all the
But
time.
that was just delinquents, right? That was
Well, don't
just
you think
delinquents.
technology has come to the point where you could
Yeah.
search for dirty words or something on that report that says, "Oh
Yeah.
shit,
I
this
mean,
isn't
that kid
a
that
military."
flagged for
Yeah.
10,000.
Yeah,
You
that's
know.
I mean, that was over like 2 quarters
Yeah.
of the
right,
year.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I can understand maybe missing it for 2 months, but
Sure.
half a year
6
of
months.
$10,000?
But like all these stories, they spin it and go, this might seem bad, but it's better than it used to be. So a 2015 audit, the IG noted, found nearly $1 million in gambling charges and nearly 100,000 where? At strip clubs.
Man.
Oh yeah,
And I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
100,000 seems low. Doesn't
I'm
it?
hitting up the ATM
Here's
to go to
what's
the strip
disappointing
joint,
is
man.
literally that's a generation going, like a generation went by,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you went
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
strip clubs to Google Play.
Game.
Like, you went from strip clubs to Google Play and OnlyFans.
Yeah.
You could have both at the same time.
Well, you know why?
Yeah.
After the stripper, you were getting no play.
That's
So you're
Yeah.
moving
look at
on
that.
down
I
the
like what you
line.
did there.
That's
getting
true.
no
Yeah.
play.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
I could get the same
man.
effect, right? You know, I can't touch it to strip club.
I
Oh,
like
might as
how
well
we were
sit at
just
home.
talking trash about all commanders not doing their job. And then you were like, yeah, but it was way worse under our regime.
Look how many
Oh,
strip
well.
club charges we had. We don't have any of that anymore. But
You guys
I'm
don't know the
telling you,
real
I'm
deal.
sure strip clubs is replaced by OnlyFans because they're
Oh,
like,
without a
holy
doubt.
shit, we got $250,000 in OnlyFans. charges.
Without a doubt.
Oh,
To
the
look
Who's
at
this?
GTC.
anybody you want.
Who's this Mr. History site? Holy
Ooh,
shit.
that's a good one. A lot of hits on that OnlyFans.
Mhm.
Lot of hits. At full price, I might.
Oh
I might
yes.
say.
Oh yes.
So I thought you guys would get a kick out of that.
That's
funny.
unbelievable.
But it's a
man.
problem we all knew was coming, and it still
Oh,
consistently
yeah.
does.
Yeah, it's still going.
You put a credit card in the hands of an 18-year-old who's just like, I had nothing else to do but join the military. Oh, look at this. Wow.
And what are they going to do to me?
Yeah, right.
Get rid of your
all right.
livelihood.
Well, you didn't know it at the time.
Yeah,
Let us go. It's been a good 6 months since we've done. I think we did the military movie auction game sometime last year.
Oh yeah.
But we didn't do a regular auction game until last January. So we're going to do we're going to do a regular auction game.
I like auction games. Woo!
But
They are
hold
fun.
on. Let me add the
Oh,
look at
nice.
let
this.
me add the effect.
Look at that.
Marty,
That's
you've been wasting too much time.
awesome.
All right, so the way we're going to play it
The effect. Let me lean in for this.
The way we're going to do it this time, this is my twist on the game this time. Your job is to pick the item that was the lowest price.
Oh, okay.
Instead
Not
of
the
the
highest,
highest
lowest
price.
price.
All right.
Okay.
So not the
Mhm.
highest, but the lowest. And these are all recent. I think they were all from like August on from last
Okay.
year. So
I like it.
some of them, some of the groupings I had a little trouble finding the same items. So you'll be able to figure those out.
That's fine.
All right. First lot of 3 is 72 pairs of cold weather boots.
Okay.
Right.
72 pairs.
Mhm.
The brand new, Vibram soles, all that kind of stuff. Gore-Tex. Or 58
Ooh.
pairs of Danner combat hiker boots.
When did those become available? I never got to wear
Oh.
a Danner
Danners
hiker boot.
Danners were nice. I never got them, but Danners were nice.
Damn, man.
You said cheaper? Which one's cheaper?
You got to pick the cheapest one.
Those
Right.
cold weather boots are cheaper.
Or
Oh, there we go.
351 pairs of combat boots. All right.
All right. So we've got hiking boots, weather boots, cold weather, and a pair of just regular combat boots. But there's 351 of them.
351. You can
That's
outfit
where
your
he's
own
tricking
little
you.
cult there.
I got to go with the 351 pairs. Like I'm thinking it's a game, man. That's
All
got to
right.
be
That's the
cheaper.
cheapest.
That's
Eric
the
thinks
cheapest.
that's the cheapest.
Are you tricking us? I'm going with the cold weather boots.
I always try to trick you. You know
I
that.
know.
All right. Cost of the cold weather boots, $1,105.
For 72 of them.
Cost of the Danner combat boots,
These are expensive. Oh,
$1,105.
The same.
I may be using the wrong. I think I'm using the wrong display.
Oh, even better.
Oh, no.
Stand by. God damn it. Wait. I think I am using the wrong one. Shit.
Oh,
Oh, we're gonna reset.
Hold on,
I'm
hold
still
on,
going
hold on.
cold weather boots.
No, I had the right one. God dang it. I had the right one. So
Oh, you question.
we're coming
yourself.
back. I did. We're coming back. All right.
All
So
right.
that's 1,105
Well,
boots.
so
Same price.
72 pair of cold weather boots are the same price as 58 pair of Danner
Well,
hiking
that's
boots.
what the lot sold
Yeah.
for. That's what
Yeah.
it sold
Okay, I
for.
see what you're saying. Not the
But
price.
see, I had
but the lot
adjusted a
sold.
different one, but I
This
screwed
auction,
this one
yeah.
up. Right?
I got you.
So I think that middle one was a different price. 11,000 or
Oh,
1,155. So it was supposed to be that one because the middle one was supposed to be 1115. I had the wrong price on it.
Wow.
So the cold
Nice.
weather boots is a winner. Jake is pulls ahead
Yeah.
of Eric.
I'm
All right.
amazed that 350 pair of combat boots only cost $1,155.
It is
Yeah,
crazy because
exactly.
they
Not a
can go, well, here's a dozen boots that sell for 1,000, or here's 2,000 boots that sell for 1,000.
We
You
gotta
know, it's
look
just
where
how it
it's
goes.
from too. Pennsylvania.
That's true.
or
That is
Vegas.
Jake's secret weapon. That's true. A
All
lot of
right.
these are in Vegas. All right, next slot is
Huh.
a Surefire Hellfighter weapon light. I didn't even know what that was. I looked it up.
I don't
You can
even know
mount
what
it to
that
like a
is.
50 cal.
It's a
That
flashlight
thing
that
is
mounts.
bright. It's
Oh.
like this big. It's bright as
Hellfire
hell.
weapon light.
Yeah.
Hellfire.
Or 3 Nikon Monarch rifle scopes.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Or this is where I couldn't find an item equivalent. 46 Air Ace survival vests.
Oh, man.
Air Ace. Survivor.
Just one of those lights?
The Hellfighter?
Yeah.
Yes, just one.
Is it that
I
impressive
saw
of
a
a
video
light?
on a
huh?
guy had it mounted to a 50 cal. It was huge,
Alright.
man. It's really huge.
This-
all right. Eric
this
went first
doesn't
last
make
time.
sense to me.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Because you win all the time.
I'm going. Oh, whose turn first?
Your turn, Jake.
Oh, I'm gonna go with the scopes or the cheapest.
Scopes are the cheapest for Jake.
Oh, yeah.
Now, see, if you think about it, an air survival vest is nothing but some woven freaking nylon, some pouches.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
But that's
But there are
46
46 of them, though, Eric.
It's a lot.
I,
And you could start a fashion channel
That's
with
a
that.
Kenyan Air Force right there.
I'm
Oh,
gonna.
yeah.
That stupid Hellfighter weapon light's the cheapest. By God,
Is that what you're
I love
going
when
with?
he gets
Is this
fed
out
up.
of
My God.
spite? This is a spite
that's
pick.
that's what's
Such a
going.
grandpa.
It's only one.
1,060 for the Nikons.
Okay.
1,045 for the air
Ooh.
survival vest.
Here it
Is
comes.
the Hellfighter weapon light more or less than 1,060?
Oh, it's
$1,010. God dang it, Eric.
no. Nice. Good job, Eric.
One
Right on.
one.
Right
And
on.
you were all angry over that choice too. I
I
love
like it. I like
it.
it.
All right, here we go.
That's still a lot for that.
Bringing back the
What?
robot, the MTRS
1,060.
Talon 4. They only sold one robot in that
Woof,
auction.
woof.
Which was
Oh,
surprising.
really?
Yeah,
No.
only one
Man.
that I could find was only one.
You'd probably get flagged for buying one even.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
you see-
maybe nowadays. Yeah,
Every
maybe.
purchase comes with a freaking federal warrant.
We're trying to get rid of them. But
Why
I'm
the
like,
hell
oh,
do you
oh.
need this? Oh shit, dude.
1,042 assorted cold weather undershirts. Yeah,
Who buys
I
1,042
if
cold
there was
weather
one
shirts?
grouping that you guys would both
Yeah.
get mad at me on, it was this grouping. I'd be like,
Oh
they're
my
gonna
God.
get pissed that I'm putting this together. Or 80 assorted toner cartridges.
Printer
That's like,
cartridges.
these guys are going to get so pissed at me.
Toner
All right, Eric, you're up.
Well, here's what I know. Fucking toner costs a lot of money.
It
Yeah.
does.
It costs a
does.
lot of money.
That's why I was trying to sucker you in with
So I'm
toner
going to
cartridges.
stay with that. I'm going to go. I want to say that robot, but I'm going to take the 1042 assorted colored weather
Okay.
shirts.
All right, the
I'm
shirts.
hoping this robot is cheapest. Give me the robot.
All right, here we
cheapest?
go. $6,000 for the
Ooh.
robot.
There's no way the other stuff.
$6,005
Hey,
for
are you
the
kidding me?
shirts. And $6,100
No.
for the
Wow.
toner cartridges.
I
The
knew it.
robot is the lowest.
I
No
knew it.
way.
By $5. Come on.
I know. That's why I was like, they're gonna really hate me.
That's funny though.
2-1, Jake to Eric.
Wow.
Here we go. Sim Man training mannequins. You get 7 of them.
Oh shit.
Look at them
7
packed
of
into
them.
that case. Is that eerie
You
looking?
start your own CPR training course
No, you could.
in mall parking lot.
I'd use it for target practice.
39 assorted commercial ranges.
Oh shit.
Commercial ranges.
Or 34 Sony camcorders.
Are these really that close?
Yes, they are.
Wow.
Well, not that close. One of
What?
them's not that close, but it's close enough to make you have to think about it. That's what I want.
Assorted commercial ranges.
So
that like-
7.
So like cooking ranges? Is
Well,
that
yeah,
what I'm
oven,
looking at?
oven, yeah.
Okay. Holy shit.
Industrial cooking ranges.
Pulled out of every rat-infested shellhole you ever ate.
All right, Jake, you take this one first.
Oh man.
Yeah, it is a tough one.
I think those ranges are the cheapest.
The stove.
I don't want them to be.
That's a bold move.
Like the mannequins are throwing me off. The number
good.
on the camcorders versus the ranges.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
The quantity is really close, so it's a toss up. But the mannequins are throwing me off.
That's tough, man.
I mean, if you wanted to start your own mall
Sure.
parking lot CPR
Yeah.
course, I would personally just go with blow up dummies. But
Well, you got 7 of them to pump "Staying Alive" on their chest.
yeah,
so.
exactly.
Staying
Or another one bites the dust.
Oh
Same
yeah,
beat.
that's true. Yeah.
What'd you say, Eric?
I didn't. I'm waiting on you.
Yeah, we're waiting on you. Are you
Oh, I'm
going
going
with the ranges?
ranges.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What do you got, Eric? It's a tough one. This could
I'm
be-
with
this
him.
was-
When you look at the volume, just the size
I know the numbers
of
throw me off.
ranges, you're like,
Yeah.
it's got to be the ranges.
You'd think.
But
I've been
because the
down with them.
camcorders are sitting out there, I'm going to go camcorders.
Camcorders and ranges. Let's count them down.
Vegas. has a huge-
8,200 for the training mannequins.
Vegas is going through a lot.
7,090 for the commercial ranges. The camcorders, more or less. 7,260 for the camcorders. The ranges is the
I knew
lowest.
All right, I'm going to start going.
Technology's expired.
I'm going with my first thought for now on.
All right, last
that's
one.
just
Last one. Here we go. Back to the vehicles. Right. 2018 Grand Design fifth
Okay.
wheel travel trailer,
Okay.
and these are all close.
I like that.
A 2021
Ooh.
26-foot bay boat with the trailer, and I think it had engines 275.
Oh
Wow.
my.
Or a 2009 Humvee 4-door hardtop.
A stolen Humvee.
Yeah, exactly. Only been stolen 4 times. Where's it
All
at?
right.
That's true.
Oh, it
So-
doesn't say where it's at.
Oh,
Oh, it's California. Yeah, you with California, it's definitely been
It's
stolen.
stolen.
it's Yermo. That's where they railhead all the equipment going to National Training Center is Yermo. So that could have been
Arizona.
just one they forgot, or the
Yeah.
bandits took it. I don't know.
You got California, you got Arizona and California.
Gentlemen, I'm going with the boat as the cheapest, believe it or not.
The boat
I'm
has the
going as the
cheapest.
boat is the cheapest.
That's a bold one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I think that's a good choice.
I think that RV. I want it to be the Humvee, but I think you're just messing with us.
Remember,
do
the
too.
Humvee is probably
you
cheaper.
know I'm
but
trying to mess with you.
The
Yeah,
Humvee's
go with
probably
the
the most
RV.
expensive. The Hummer's probably most expensive.
What do you got, Jake? You going
RV.
with the RV? All right. 24,000 for the boat.
Ow. Ow.
26,000 for the trailer.
Oh.
23,000.
Oh, come on. This tractor Humvee got me. I just assumed you were being deviant. And
I
chose
was-
the
well,
shitty RV.
I was trying to throw the RV in there when I was like, they're going to guess the highest price. But then I switched it. I was like, make them guess the lowest. That'll F them up. I threw Eric for a loop. I don't think he could ever recover from it. You know
I
what
failed
mean?
miserably.
Wow, Jake, you're on top just by
Look
being
at
a
that.
contrarian.
Hey,
I like
turning a new leaf.
It's like 3-1, man. I got smoked.
That's unusual, Eric. I hope that sticks in your craw for next time. So
Ugh.
I'm coming back. Best of 2025.
Anna would have won just because she didn't care about it. She would have just like Humvee. Eric, you got history today?
I do. It'll be a quick one. I think you'll like it.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's going to go back a little ways. Let's
I'm
go
surprised.
back.
I'm sorry to cheat you on history. That was a good history, that Challenger last week. That was a
Oh,
good
yeah.
one.
No,
Oh,
that was-
yeah.
I didn't see a lot, even coverage on it in like news or anything for it.
No, I didn't either, tell you the truth.
Yeah.
So let's go back to 1945, February 4th.
Okay.
So we know
Ooh,
when we're
that
talking about
sounds
World
like-
War II.
That sounds like Battle of Bulge time or somewhere around there, right?
It's close. We're going to
Okay.
talk about it's the Yalta Conference.
The Yalta Conference.
Never heard
of it. Yes, you did.
Never
It's,
heard of it.
yes, you did.
That's made up.
World War II Conference of the three chief
Propaganda.
got me all choked up here, man. World War II Conference of the three chief Allied leaders: Franklin Roosevelt of the United States, Prime Minister Winston Churchill of the United Kingdom, Joseph Stalin of the Soviet Union, which met at Yalta in Crimea to plan the final defeat and occupation of Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
So the biggest outcome of this thing was the divided zones, if you'll remember.
Oh,
So, it had already been decided that Germany would be divided into occupied zones administered by the U.S., British, Soviet forces. Did we know there was one more?
There's one more.
Yeah.
Um,
I wasn't aware
I
of
don't
this.
know.
I thought there was 3.
yeah,
U.S., British, French, and Soviet forces.
they did
Yes.
that just sympathetically to them. Right?
Yeah. All right. Come on, guys.
Come on, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, we
So-
got one of you guys in here too.
The conferences accepted the principle that the Allies had no duty towards Germans except to provide minimum subsistence and declared that the German military industry would be abolished or confiscated and agreed that major war criminals would be tried before an international court, which subsequently presided at Nuremberg,
Right.
and the determination of reparations was assigned to a commission. So the bottom line here was how to deal with the defeat or liberated countries of Eastern Europe, and was the main problem discussed at the conference.
Wow.
The agreements reached, which were accepted by Stalin, called for interim governmental authorities, broadly representative of all democratic elements of the population, and the earliest possible establishment through free elections of governments responsive to the will of the people. Britain and the United States supported a Polish government in exile in London, while the Soviets supported a communist-dominated Polish Committee of National Liberation in Lublin. So you notice right off the get-go after this thing, Stalin was running his own gauntlet, man. He said, I'm taking it. And, of course, what happens? You get East Germany with a wall and all that bullshit.
You know, that's weird. They went East and West Germany, but then they divided up Berlin too. It was like,
Yes. Yeah.
Jesus, you guys.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's
year was
interesting?
this?
1945.
45.
February
Yeah.
4th.
I think that was the year Stalin won best mustache of the year too.
Oh, easy.
Easy.
Yeah. I mean,
It wasn't
was
a
always-
category until they met at this the conference.
It was always a toss-up because stylistically they were like, well, you go with the Hitler, do you go with the Stalin? I mean,
Yeah.
they're they both have the market cornered on where they're going with it.
Yep.
You know,
Stalin.
back when Patton said, "Ladies and gentlemen, we should be taking on the communists."
We already got the army over
With-
here. We should just fight them because we're
We
going to
sh- 'cause
eventually
you're gonna-
fight them anyway.
Bingo! I wished he would have been able to attend the Yalta Conference.
It's really,
Put in his
you know,
2 cents.
it's really fascinating if you read some of that. I guess you call it opinionated history, where I don't know enough to know if it's valid, but when they talk about like the Yalta Conference and stuff like that, and how what's his name for the Brits,
Churchill.
Churchill, kind of got pushed out of some of that decision making, and I don't know why. I can't remember why. I know I read it once. But it was like they kind of had a plan without Churchill, and they were just like, "Yeah, this is what we want to do."
Well,
You
it
okay
was
with
it
that?
was
You know?
well known after the war that the England wanted him gone.
I know, right? They wanted him
wanted him
during the
gone.
time, and then once they were done, they just discard him. So
Yep. Didn't
crazy
want him.
history. That's good though. Crazy Mr. History.
I like it.
Nice. All right. Should we call that an end up? I think that was
End up.
that was a good end up. Yeah.
Good show.
Jake victorious. That's a rare one.
That hurts my feelings, man.
Yeah. Anna, wherever you are, get back soon. Hopefully, you can continue on the show. We might have to have our own Yalta conference if we can let Anna back on.
Whoa.
So we'll
The
see.
big 3 will discuss your future, Anna.
You're always welcome. I'm on Team Anna.
Oh, you already sold out.
Yep,
So much for
sold
that
out.
vote. Yeah, I'm on Team Anna too. I want her back.
Me too.
Okay, fine. I'll hold out for margarita and tacos. And then you can come
Oh,
back.
then we're talking Juan, right? Then we
Yeah.
need Juan back too. So.
Yeah, well,
Juan,
that's a
finish
whole-
up.
That's a whole
Study
different
ahead.
thing.
Take your time.
We
Get
need
out.
the little
Yeah,
mule.
That's right, we do. So on behalf of all of us here, I'd like to thank you for listening today. Please like, share, and subscribe, and let us know how we did in the comments. And and make sure next week that you are not late for changeover.
Yeah. You
I
love
like
the intro
I'm
and
getting
the
worse
exit.
and worse. I know,
That's a
I
good
know.
one.
It's terrible. Man, thanks for the week. And to all those watching and listening, thanks for listening and watching. We'll see you next week.
See ya.